Go ahead.
Tom Zaleski, the Spectrum of St. George, Utah. Chad, as long as the green flag run was going, were you locked into that four-tire call as it was progressing, and were you, or had it gone longer? Were you still committed to it?
No, you just got to go with it. You know, you have to watch the tempo of the race, see what's going on. With the amount of laps that we had left, 30 plus laps, I was very comfortable taking 4 tires. I felt like that the people that took 2 tires, their left side tires would deteriorate pretty quickly, and so at that point I was committed to it. Now, if it had come out with 10 laps to go, it would have been even more interesting because you would have less people even hit pit road to begin with. So you just got to be liquid and willing to change as the race goes. You can't set a strat. That's the one thing about our sport that I don't think a lot of people understand. You can't set a strategy. You don't have a 2-minute warning. You don't have quarters. You don't have periods. You don't have that stuff. You know, you don't know when the cautions are going to fall. So to go through and
we had 2 cautions a day that were accidental. That's not in the cards.
Somebody leaned up against the wall and hit the caution button. You know, I mean, it's just you don't know what's going to happen in our sport. So it's just that's the cool thing about our sport, and I think that's why it's so exciting.
I forgot about that.
I think that's what we were told on the radio that there were accidental cautions. At least one was an accidental caution.
Because they were both put down on the sheet as accidental.
Yeah, I'm not sure what accidental means, but maybe somebody leaned up against the switch and turned the lights on.
It's like Hoots, you know, he leans down on the desk, he's like, oh, geez, you know.
Why is everybody slowing down?
All right, Tom Bowles, SI in the front stretch. For Jimmie and Chad, once upon a time, you guys won 3 in a row here. But the last 2 years, and Mr. Hendrick said it himself, you guys were so far off. You know, our storyline after Vegas was, what's wrong with the 48 the last couple of years? So I just wondered if you put any extra emphasis on this race in the offseason to try and get, you know, back on track here, and you maybe talk a little bit about how you can get so far astray at a track that you've dominated and how you come back from that to reel it back into the point where you guys were top 2 all day, basically.
Yeah, in 2008, we tried to come back to win that 4th one in a row. We were just off, and not just the 48 car, but the company. We went to California beforehand and salvaged a good run there, and then came here, and we were trying new things and trying to advance because we didn't have a lot of testing take place preseason, and we just missed it. And luckily then there was testing allowed, and I think it was 26 or 27 test sessions later, we found our stuff running how it should and ready for the chase, just in time for the chase. So in 08, we just got off a little bit, and it can happen to anyone in the sport. Last year, we were really, really fast, and is that when Jeff missed pit road and blew a tire? We were leading the race coming to pit road under green, and the 24 was trying to follow us in and missed pit in and flat spotted the left front tire, and then had to drive around, and while he was driving around, the tire blew, and they got a caution. So we were unlucky being on pit road at that point. And then I was trying to come back up through the field and stuffed in the wall off of 2, just trying too hard. That's why it had such a bad finish. I think we're in the top 10 though. So last year doesn't really show what the team had in it. But 08 we were off.
Jim Utter, Charlotte Observer. When Jeff was in here earlier and asked to kind of contemplate what this might mean for you guys, considering you'd won 4 championships in a row and now won 2 in a row races, he said, well, there's always the fact that they could be peaking early. Any concern about that?
That's legit. I mean, from my standpoint, I love to play devil's advocate, and I just don't want us to be comfortable as a race team. And even though we've won these 2 races, we can't let it affect anything because there's still 23 races to go until the chase starts. So, yes, that could be the case. Only time will tell. We're certainly going to do everything in our power to make sure it's not the case.
Jennifer Fryer, Associated Press again. Rick, what do you think of where the 88's at right now?
I think we've made a lot of improvements. I think didn't get to show the car was coming back well at California, and broke an axle, and today ran up in front that long green flag stretch, and he was good there at the end. And what did he end up, 14th? 16th. But I think to qualify as well as he did, went out first, right behind Jimmie there, and broke the track record by 3/10 and ran up there. And we had a couple of bobbles in the pits with the pit crew. It seems like every time the car is good, the pit crew screws up. If the pit crew's on, the car, something breaks. So I feel that they made a ton of improvement, and I think we're going to have a really good year. I'm looking forward to Atlanta.
Gentlemen, thank you. Could you imagine if there was a 48 on the roulette wheel? Congratulations. Thank you.